Hurricane Ida is bearing down on the Louisiana coast and could disrupt cruising through this weekend. Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line, the little cruise line that could, has updated their vaccine guidance on board their ships. We'll tell you what we need to know. And Royal Caribbean CEO Richard Fain provides an update on the Delta variant as it relates to the Royal Caribbean brand. Also, speaking of Royal Caribbean, they sent out an email this weekend that confused many of their customers who sail on back-to-backs. We'll give you the clarification that you need to know. A major cruise line celebrates a milestone this weekend as 60% of its fleet is now back on the high seas. Also, we'll talk about Ritz Carlton and their high-end yacht collection cruises that should begin sailing sometime in May of next year. We'll give you more details on the pricing and itineraries offered on board these luxury cruises. All this and more coming up on Midships. Hey, welcome to the Midships YouTube channel. I'm your Captain Corey, and before we get started, I want to remind you that our giveaway is currently live. If you'd like to have a chance to enter to win this passport and COVID card holder, these seasickness wristbands, and these magnetic cruise cabin hooks, simply go ahead and follow the link in the description below or up in the top corner of your screen, and it will take you to our giveaway video. Just go ahead and watch. All the instructions that you need to know to be entered to win are in that video. If you just can't wait to get your hands on this cruise swag or any of the other items featured in our previous giveaways, there are Amazon affiliate links in the description below. Just simply click the link and you'll be taken directly to the Amazon store page to purchase the items. So let's get started with the big story of the weekend, and of course that's Hurricane Ida. She's threatening to hit as potentially a Category 4 hurricane. In an article from Axios.com's Andrew Friedman, Hurricane Ida to hit Louisiana Sunday as Cat 4 storm. Hurricane Ida is rapidly gaining strength Saturday over the unusually warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico and is predicted to hit southeastern Louisiana as an extremely dangerous Cat 4 hurricane on Sunday evening, according to the U.S. National Hurricane Center. Let's see why this matters. The storm has the potential to cause catastrophic damage from high winds, nearly 2 feet of rain, and up to 15 feet of storm surge. New Orleans is likely to see significant impacts, including hurricane-force winds and storm surge that could test the city's post-Katrina flood protection system. The latest as of 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Saturday, Hurricane Ida was located 350 miles southeast of the mouth of the Mississippi River. It was moving northwest at 16 miles an hour and has maximum sustained winds of approximately 85 miles per hour. Now, if you've never paid attention to hurricane reporting, the way we derive this wind information and travel information is there are actually airplanes called hurricane hunters that will fly multiple passes through the eye of these storms and gather all kinds of meteorological data on these storms. It's really interesting to watch. I was watching earlier today some of the footage from the hurricane hunters, and you could see that the eye wall of this storm has developed significantly over what it was just yesterday. After hitting Cuba Friday night, Ida's intensification paused for a short while, but resumed the alarming trends on Saturday morning. In many ways, Ida is a worst-case scenario, a storm traversing extremely warm water in an area conducive for strengthening, headed for a state that is extremely vulnerable for storm surge and flooding, with the highest storm surge levels predicted to be upwards of 15 feet between Morgan City to the mouth of the Mississippi River. So first and foremost, to our Midships family watching from the Louisiana coast, God bless you. We are praying for you. Do everything you can to protect your life and your property from this storm, up to and including evacuating the area from this location. Honestly, just get out of the way from this storm. We've seen what can happen in the Louisiana area. It's extremely low-lying. We just want you to protect your lives to the fullest extent that you can. Now, we've got to remember that we have cruise ports in this area that could be affected by this. So on Monday, we're going to go ahead and sort of detail some of the implications that this storm may have caused on this Louisiana area. We are praying for you guys up in Louisiana. As a Floridian, we know exactly what these storms are like, and we know the feeling in the hours leading up to them. So please go ahead and take care of yourself as best as you can. You may not know about it, but there is a very small cruise line that sails out of the Miami area called Bahamas Paradise Cruises. They make their money on 2-night itineraries that head over to Nassau, Bahamas. Before the pandemic, they operated 2 vessels, but now, unfortunately, they have scrapped one of their ships and are down to a solo ship fleet. Now, of course, this is Bahamas Paradise Cruise Lines, and we're going to read an article from cruiseindustrynews.com. Bahamas Paradise to require COVID-19 vaccinations. Following an order implemented by the Bahamas Customs Department, Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line has updated their travel policy and will require any guest 12 years or older to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19. The new rules are for the so-called restricted period from September 3rd to October 31st, 2021. Guests will be asked to present their original CDC vaccine card. Guests will be considered fully vaccinated if they have received their second dose in a 2-dose series, such as those from Pfizer or Moderna, or a single shot of the jab from Johnson & Johnson, at least 14 days prior to their departure on Bahamas Paradise Cruise Lines. Those who have been booked with the line and are not fully vaccinated or will not be vaccinated by their departure date may move their cruise without penalty to a new sailing following the October 31st expiration of the Bahamian order. So at this time, if you're booked on Bahamas Paradise and you are not vaccinated or will not be vaccinating, you are not eligible for a refund, but you can move your itinerary to a date further on into the future. Now, this October 31st date, I would expect to come and go. I think this is going to be pushed out at least through the end of 2021. As long as the Delta variant is in the news, you are not going to see this Bahamian policy expire anytime soon. So Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line is now requiring vaccines for all adults 12 and older. Let's talk about Royal Caribbean. They are hitting the news hard this week, and we are going to begin with an update on their back-to-back cruising requirements. They sent out an email yesterday which confused a lot of people. Now, if you have been watching Midships, yesterday we actually provided an update on back-to-back cruising information for Royal Caribbean, which turned out to be true and correct. But if you haven't seen that episode, we'll go ahead and give you all the info you need to know here. In an article from cruisehive.com's Robert McGilvery, confusion over Royal Caribbean procedures for back-to-back cruises. Royal Caribbean has been quick to come back from an email that was sent to guests this week. The email stated that the cruise line has implemented a new policy that requires all guests on back-to-back cruises to pack up all of their things and leave the vessel in between their cruise. Only hours after the email went out, a new email was sent out by the cruise line stating there was an error. The cruise line sent out the new procedure to guests this week, which comes when the cruise line has been actively reviewing and renewing its onboard policies for vaccinations, back-to-back cruising, and testing aboard and ashore, in light of the Bahamas and Virgin Islands changing their entry requirements. A royal apology. Royal Caribbean was quick to react to the backlash the company received on various online and social media outlets. In reaction, the company states the following: with our last back-to-back update, we provided the wrong information and apologized for the confusion. We advised all back-to-back guests that they were required to pack their things and leave to the terminal between sailings. This is incorrect. You do not need to pack your bags and bring them to the terminal. Below is the corrected back-to-back testing information. Now let's talk about this, because we reported the other day that testing requirements for back-to-back cruisers on Royal Caribbean are as follows. If you're scheduled on a back-to-back with Royal Caribbean, upon boarding the ship, you simply need to make contact with guest services, let them know you are a back-to-back cruiser, and tell them you'd like to schedule your COVID test. Then the cruise line will test you on board the ship at Royal Caribbean's expense. Once you arrive back in your port, you will simply get off the ship, go through customs, and reboard the ship as usual. The new policy Royal Caribbean sent out will likely be received with much more positive feedback, as guests are not required to pack their things and leave the ship between cruises. Also, testing will now be done on board the ship and not in the terminal. This means guests only need to leave the ship for customs and immigration and to check in for their new cruise itinerary. So as usual, the Midships family is the first to know everything they need to know about cruising. So let's continue the theme of Royal Caribbean. We're going to actually hear from their CEO about how they're responding to the Delta variant and what effects it's having on the company in general. In an article from TravelPulse.com's Donald Wood, impact of Delta variant on the cruise industry. Royal Caribbean CEO Richard Fain released his latest video update on Friday, breaking down the impact of the Delta variant on the cruise industry as a whole. Fain said on Facebook that while the latest chapter in the coronavirus pandemic has upset the cruise industry's plans, their rigorous health and safety protocols that are in place, as well as vaccine requirements, have helped protect guests and crew members on board. While the spread of the Delta variant has led to a dip in bookings for 2021 and early into 2022 and impacted the overall business of travel advisors, domestic travel is still open for business and cruise lines have returned to service around the world. We have a quote from the CEO, Richard Fain. I'm going to paraphrase it because it's kind of all over the place. Bookings, especially those in the near term, are still not at the level we want to make the kind of money that we all need to survive. But that too is ramping up. Fain continued to say, the end of this battle is in sight, but we can't yet let our guard down. Bookings continue to be impacted by the Delta variant, but the CEO revealed that forward-looking analysis from Royal Caribbean shows pent-up demand is still strong. As a result, the cruise company has more than half its fleet back in service, with more vessels returning to the seas every day. So what great news coming out from CEO Richard Fain about Royal Caribbean and the demand that we all have for cruising. I know the Midships family loves to cruise and they all want to get out on the high seas as soon as possible. So let's keep talking about Royal Caribbean because we just touched on them having more than half their fleet back in operations. And I'm going to give you the exact numbers now. In an article from cruiseindustrynews.com, nearly 60% of the Royal Caribbean Group's cruise fleet is now back in service. With its cruise restart plan picking up the pace, Royal Caribbean Group will achieve a major milestone by the end of August. By month's end, more than half of the group's 61-ship fleet will be back in commercial service. The 34 vessels sailing around the world mean 56% of the company's fleet is now operating with passengers in several destinations. This fall, more ships, home ports, and itineraries are set to return. And if you'd like to be updated on the full list of ships, itineraries, and ports, this article, along with everything referenced in today's episodes, will be linked down below. While you're down there, I'd invite you to subscribe to the channel, and if you love cruising, give a big thumbs up. So if you'd like to read more on all of the brands under the Royal Caribbean umbrella, including Silver Seas, Celebrity, TUI, and Hapag Lloyd Cruises, you can follow the link down below. Many of us know Ritz Carlton as that super nice hotel that we stayed at on one of our most memorable vacations. But did you know that next year you'll be able to use Ritz Carlton not only as a hotel vacation, but as a cruise-based vacation? That's right, they are bringing a new ultra-luxury yacht cruising-like experience to the general public. We're going to read about it now. In an article from cruiseindustrynews.com, Ritz Carlton will now plan to begin cruising in May of 2022, just under a year from now. Citing the ongoing impact of COVID-19, combined with the related challenges created for construction operations in Europe, the Ritz Carlton Yacht Collection has announced it will reschedule its inaugural voyage. The Evrima, which is the name of the Ritz Carlton's new ship, will now set sail on May 6th, 2022 from Lisbon, Portugal. And we have a quote here from the CEO of the Ritz Carlton Yacht Collection. While we are eager to welcome guests aboard Evrima, we have had to reevaluate the timing of our first voyage, given the rapidly changing circumstances and their impact on Evrima's completion, said Douglas Prothero, CEO of the Ritz Carlton Yacht Collection. We remain excited to set sail in the spring and thank our guests for their understanding and patience as we continue to navigate this unprecedented global environment. The Ritz Carlton Yacht Collection is personally reaching out to impacted guests and their travel agents. Guests impacted by the schedule change may choose to reschedule their voyage to an available itinerary in 2022 or 23, or discuss reimbursement options through the Ritz Carlton Yacht Collection. So let's talk about these really cool and unique itineraries that Ritz Carlton Yacht Collection will be offering. And to do this, we're going to actually hop into their website, and there's a link for this website down in the description below if you'd like to do a little bit of high-end cruise shopping yourself. So here on the Ritz Carlton Yacht Collection website, I have 21 matching cruise itineraries in the Caribbean sorted by price, low to high. And you can see that if you'd like to take a cruise with Ritz Carlton, it's going to begin at $3,700 per person for a 5-night cruise in the Caribbean, departing just before Thanksgiving on November 17th. And because I know you're curious, we're going to go ahead and click and take a look at the details of this $3,700 cruise itinerary through Ritz Carlton Yacht Club Collection. You can see that this voyage will indeed be aboard their new ship and will depart from Bridgetown, Barbados. And as you can see, you spend 5 nights sailing around to some extremely unique ports that probably most of the Midships family have never been to. So this type of cruising may offer something to the experienced cruiser that's looking to try something new or to see a destination that they have not yet cruised to. So I'm very excited for this new Ritz Carlton Yacht Club cruise experience, and hopefully one of these days I will see you on board of their new ship, Evrima. Don't forget to check the link below to enter our giveaway contest that ends on September 1st. If you don't want to miss any news or information related to the cruise industry, please get subscribed to the Midships channel. Thanks for coming by today, and until next time, we'll see you on the Midships.